How is it going? Happy New Year. Getting all situated. Yeah. How is everybody doing? All right. Well, first, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Antonio, what is going on? Antonio's online. Hey, Auntie Clara. Auntie Clara is online. What is up? Good morning. Happy Monday. This is the first Monday of 2020. I can't believe it, right? It's 2020. I'm excited about 2020. Are you excited about 2020? If you're excited about 2020, just drop an emoji in the comment section that represents how you feel. I'm feeling good. But anyway, I just want to welcome you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcella Wilson, and what I do is I help people start short-term rental properties. My husband and I own several short-term rental properties. We've been very successful doing that. Other people started asking us, can you help us do it? So now I've branched out, and now I help people start short-term rental properties. And I believe that you can create the life of your dreams one short rental at a time. I'm doing that with my life, and I help other people do that as well. Hey, Crystal. Crystal is with us today. Good morning, Clara. How are you? Saw those wedding pictures. Really nice. Congratulations. All right. So you guys know, if you have been following me for a while, you know I used to be on here every day dropping knowledge. But now I'm going to be doing weekly live streams. So every Monday morning, I'm going to be doing a live stream about a valuable topic for the week. So this week, I'm going to be talking about how you can make at least $1,000 a month with your short-term rental property. So I want you to stay to the very end, because I'm going to show you how you can get this amazing, amazing free training that helps you get at least $1,000 a month from a short-term rental, and you don't have to own a property yet, right? You don't have to own one at all. So you want to stay to the end. This is going to be about a half hour, so you really want to stay to the end so I can tell you how to get that. So just let me know right quick in the comments, what would you do with an extra $1,000 a month? What would you do? How would your life change if you make an extra $1,000 a month with your short-term rental? Right? Would you put your kids in private school? Would you save that money up to take your family on an amazing summer vacation, or trip that you always want to go to? Would you save all that money to buy another short-term rental property and just keep building your short-term rental empire? What would you do? All right, so give me 20 minutes. Let me get into the meat of this. I've got 3 points that I want to share with you on how you can really, in 2020, be average. And I'm going to talk about that as I go. All right. So short-term rentals is an explosive business, right? So the average short-term rental host makes about $1,000 a month. So let me go into the 3 points why 2020 is your year for short-term rental properties. Okay. Reason number 1, point number 1 is because, as I said, short-term rentals are experiencing rapid growth. Rapid, okay? It's growing exponentially. Okay, let me just give you some quick stats just to prove my point. These numbers are crazy, right? So last year, Airbnb alone made $2.5 billion, and $100 million in profit. $100 million in profit, right? So, and that's just Airbnb. There are other short-term rental hosting platforms like VRBO, Bookings.com. So Airbnb alone, $2.5 billion in revenue, and it is increasing. It's worldwide, which is great because, you know, if you're watching me from Australia or from New York or from Canada, wherever you are, there are short-term rental properties, and you can get in on the short-term rental property game and get your coin. So it's experiencing rapid growth. It's worldwide. On any given day, there are 50,000 bookings. Is yours one of them? 50,000 bookings in the United States alone. That is crazy. The average booking is 5 days and for $1,000. Okay? So all you would need is just to be average. You can get one booking a month, 5 days for $1,000. One booking a month and you be set. And that's average. Like, I'm fine with being average. Are you fine with being average? In this case, yes, I can be average. There are 150 million users on the Airbnb platform alone. I know VRBO, I didn't look up that stat specifically, but VRBO has similar numbers, hundreds of millions of people on these platforms that are looking to rent properties, that are looking to rent what you have to offer. All right, so, and these stats go on and on and on. I can go on and on and on all day, but it just to summarize, the short-term rental industry is growing rapidly. It's exceeding all expectations. It's profitable. People are renting and booking and will continue to do so. All right. So if you want to get a piece of that $2.6 billion coin, stay on to the end. All right. The second point is that the short-term rentals are the new hotel industry, right? Hey, Angie, how you doing? Good morning. Thanks. Appreciate compliment on my shirt. Thank you. All right. So point 2 is the short-term rental industry is the new hotel industry. So if you guys have been keeping up with, well, it's really my job to do it for you, right? I'm here to help you. And I stay on top of all the news about the short-term rental industry. Well, the hotel industry is shook because of short-term rentals. Why? Because more people are staying in hotels, or, well, it's almost 50-50. So last year, 49% of people who had to rent spaces or rent, accommodations stayed in short-term rentals as opposed to hotels. 49% stayed in short-term rentals. 51% stayed in hotels. And I know that in certain areas like Florida, around Disney World, people actually stay in short-term rentals more than in hotels because there are just not enough hotels to accommodate the people. So in some areas, depending on where you are, people use short-term rentals more than hotels. Do you hear me? And look, you may be thinking like, well, I don't live in like New York or LA. Those are probably the most popular places to have a short-term rental. No, wrong answer. I did a post, and I'll repost it again, about the top 10 places to have a short-term rental, and you'd be surprised. They're like in North Carolina, near Dollywood, Tennessee. So you don't have to live in a major city in the United States to make bank. You can be anywhere, and if you have a short-term rental, you can make bank. So that's point 2, is the hotel industry is shook because people are shifting to using short-term rentals more than hotels. Why? because short-term rentals are less expensive, right? You can get more for less. Like in New York City, it's cheaper to book a house through Airbnb than it is a hotel room. Now, if you were traveling in New York City, would you rather stay in a house or in a hotel room? Right? I'm staying in the house. And another reason why people use short-term rentals is because it's more comfortable. All right, so when you travel, where do you stay? Do you stay in a hotel or do you stay in a short-term rental? Where do you stay? Let me know in the comments. As much as possible, especially if I am traveling with my kids or my family, we're staying in a short-term rental. It's just more comfortable. All right, Angie says, a yoga teacher here in Knoxville has a tiny room that she uses in her studio as a short-term rental, and it's purely because of the relaxing atmosphere. There you go. There you go. Short-term rentals are the new hotel industry. All right, and then my last point is for 20. So we've already talked about point one, how short-term rentals are experiencing rapid growth, and it has no signs of stopping. It's only increasing. My second point was that, as I just said, short-term rentals are the new hotel industry, meaning people, 49% of people use short-term rentals as opposed to hotels. And I'm sure one day soon, those numbers will overtake, short-term rental uses will overtake the whole hotel industry. Hotels will always have a place, absolutely, but short-term rentals just offer something that hotels can't. It just got bright in here all of a sudden. Did you see it got a little dark? I'm just gonna close my curtain right there. All right, because there's a window. I know you guys can't see it, but there's a window right there. All right. So the last thing I wanted to say about short-term rentals in 2020 and getting your coin this year is that to make other people pay your bills, right? Make other people pay your bills. And you might be saying, well, what do you mean by that, Marcella? Well, let me give you some other stats about short-term rentals that you might find very interesting. They say that the average, I'm reading from my notes, the average Airbnb host, right? The average person that's running an Airbnb or a short-term rental, their earnings cover 81% of their rent or mortgage. I'm going to repeat that. Short-term rental hosts, on average, use their earnings to pay for 81% of their rent or mortgage. So what does that mean? That means that the income that the short-term rental host is getting from their bookings covers 81% of their rent or their mortgage, whatever it is. So that's what I mean by saying make them pay, make the people who are staying in your spare bedroom, your basement, your unit, your condo, your apartment, your house, make them pay your rent, make them pay your bookings, make them pay your mortgage, I'm sorry. So do you understand the power of having someone else pay your rent? You don't have to do it, someone else pays it. And listen, this is just an average across the board, 81%. Excuse me, it covers 81%. So for my properties, my bookings cover 100%. I don't pay my bills. The people who rent my properties, they pay my bills. So it's like I have, houses for free. So let me also give you some more stats about making your guests pay your bills. There has been an 120% increase in hosts over 60. what does that mean? And how does that relate to making other people pay your bills? So, you know, a lot of people, when they are older or they've retired, um, they're they're not working anymore. They may have retired, they may be on a fixed income, or maybe for physical limitations, they can't work full time or do what they used to do. So it can be, I'm not at that point, but I do have friends who are older adults, and they tell me the difficulties that they have about, living on a fixed income and things like that. So a lot of retirees and older adults are turning to um, using their spare bedrooms or basements or houses as short-term rentals. Why? One, because they have the space, because if they've had kids, they've flown the nest, they've left the house, so they have extra space in the house. Two, if they're living on a fixed income, this is a way for them to work at home, right? They can just stay at home and generate income, right? It allows them to make money, add to their income, utilize the space that they have in their home, and live at the same standard or more than that they were used to. So a lot of older adults are doing this. And, millennials as well. It's not just older adults, it's millennials, it's moms, it's single parents, it's everybody. But I just wanted to give you that one example of older adults, because these older adults are getting hip to the fact that they can turn their property that they have access to into a short-term rental, and they can make the guests pay for their bills or the guests pay for their lifestyle, right? Would you like for your short-term rental guests to pay for your bills? Would you like to do that? So all this stuff I'm talking about is not like something that is far-fetched or only a few people are doing. Because, we're on the internet, we're online, and you'll see things like, I made $100,000. I make $100,000 a month selling candles. You'll see stuff like that, and you're like, wow, people buying candles like that. But no, you'll see stuff like that, and you're like, is that possible? Or if it's possible, only like a few people are doing it, right? But this whole short-term rental thing, like, anybody can do it, whether they own a property or not. You just have to have access to properties, right? Or a room or whatever. And the things that I'm talking to you about are average cases, right? Like if you say, I want to rent out a spare bedroom or rent out my basement, the average booking, the average amount of money you're going to make is $1,000 a month. That's average, right? On average, Airbnb or VRBO hosts their short-term rental earnings cover 81% of their rent or mortgage. And your mortgage or your rent normally is your biggest bill, right? And to have someone else pay for that with what you already have is incredible. It's life-changing. So, and that's the thing I really want to, emphasize, is that this is doable. So many people are doing it. You can do it. It's not something far-fetched like, I got to do all this stuff. No, I just got to get my bedroom together. I just got to get a matching comforter and curtains. It's something that you can do. It's not something that only like one or two people are having extraordinary success with doing. Anybody can do it. And if you are just average, not even really trying hard, you just got to get your listing up. If you are just average, you will do well. you know, uh, this is a win-win for you, for your guests. You're providing a service for your renters. It's a win-win situation. Um, and to me, you can't lose. So, and that's one of the reasons why my husband and I got into the FTR game. You know, we decided we wanted to make some money moves and get into this game, and we were profitable, successful right off the bat, and you can be too. However, when you decide, hey, I want to jump into the short-term rental market, I want to put my bedroom up or my basement up or a spare unit up, you want to plan, right? Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what I believe. So you've got to plan. And this is the beginning of the year, so it's a great time because everyone is planning for 2020, right? They're creating vision boards and doing resolutions. And in the business world, a lot of people are planning, right? Planning what they hope to make each quarter and for the year. And I'm no different. With our short-term rental properties, at the beginning of the year, we always review 2019 to see how we were profitable, how we can improve. And we also plan out, what we're going to do for 2020. And I know you may be thinking, like, how can I plan my profits for my short-term rental in 2020? I mean, people just book, right? I can't control who books my property, right? But you can plan. And the way you can plan is you can do research, right? And if you don't have a property, you can research. And if you have a property, you can see what you did before and try, estimate what the next year will look like. So I have this sheet and this formula that we use to plan. And what I want to do is I want to offer that to you. And what it is, it helps you plan for 2020, what you can make with whatever short-term rental property you are using in 2020. And you may be thinking, well, I don't own a property. You don't have to own a property. You just have to have access to a property. You may be thinking, well, my short-term rental property is not ready right now. It's going to be ready like in March. That's fine too, because we still got to plan it. Because when it comes on, when you're ready in March, you got to hit the ground running, and you still have 9 months for the rest of the year. So and plus, when you plan and when you track, it increases, right? I am a big fan of tracking because when you track something, it will grow. So you've got to plan. So people come to me and say, well, I don't own a property. That's not an excuse, because lots of people have access to spare bedrooms, basements, properties. You just got to think about it, right? I always say people are sitting on Airbnb empires and they don't even know it. You might have an elderly relative who has a house, or one who has just maybe moved to an assisted living facility. You may have someone, you may be an empty nester. Everyone has access to property, so you don't necessarily have to own it, right? So people come to me and say, well, I don't own anything, I can't buy a house. And wrong answer. You could just be renting out your condo when you go on vacation, right? You can rent it out when you're gone. I actually know someone who, or a friend told me that she knows someone who stays in a trailer every weekend, and she rents out her condo every weekend because it's so lucrative. She stays in a trailer every weekend and lets people stay in her condo because the guests are paying her her condo mortgage. So, you know, you don't have to buy a separate house. You don't have to, you could be renting an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, and you're renting out the spare bedroom. I've heard all kind of things. You do not have to own a property. So you don't have to own a property, and you don't have to actually have that short-term rental property up and running right now. If you're planning on getting that up and running at some point in this year, you need to do this planning, right? Because if, like, I'm gonna say it again, if you don't, if you fail to plan, did I say it right? If you've failed to plan, you plan to fail. And I'm all about planning to profit. Hashtag plan to profit, hashtag money moves. Okay, we love Cardi, okay? Trying to make money moves, gets those coins, those 2020 coins. I already told you, Airbnb, 2.6 billion a year. VRBO, booking.com, they're all the same. You can make on average $1,000 a month just renting out some spare space you got. All right. So if you are interested in going through this worksheet I have where I help you plan out and visualize and put down on paper what kind of profits you can make this year, so you can see that, based on where you live, what you're offering, it's going to be at least $1,000 a month, right? I want you to, the link that's actually in the title and it's in the comments, click on that link, enter your name and email, and I'm going to send it to you. Okay? That's all you have to do. It's my gift to you. It's my, belated Christmas holiday gift. It's my Happy New Year gift. Your plan to profit worksheet where you can plan out the year. And like I said, this is something I do. This is something doesn't matter what business you're in, all business owners do. What they're doing at the beginning of the year is they're planning out their profits and what they're offering, service, products, or whatever for the year. And just because you have a short-term rental, we do the same thing. So I want to give that to you so you can get your STR coins with a T, right? Coins in 2020. So, like I said, the link is in the comments, and it's also in the title of this. So, I do want to say that I'm not going to make this available forever. It's just going to be up for a few days, and I'm going to take it down because we only do it at the beginning of the year. And then after that, we move on to the next thing. So click the link and I will send you this amazing thing, and it will show you, how to get those coins in 2020 for your short-term rental property that you either have or are planning to get up and running sometime this year. Also, if you are not a member of my private Facebook group, please join. It's the STR Academy, because I do these webinars, these weekly live streams every Monday morning. And sometimes I actually do them on my my personal profile, but as the group grows and it's growing rapidly, I'm just only going to be doing them in my private Facebook group. Plus, in my private Facebook group, I give them lots of freebies and giveaways and fun stuff, so you don't want to miss out on that. So you want to join my private Facebook group, STR Academy. So I'm looking at everybody that's watching me on my personal profile. You guys need to join me in my private Facebook group. Okay, so Like I said, I will be only be 30 minutes today. It's around 10:30. So I'm going to let you guys go, but I want to close with just reiterating that, reiterating the 3 points that short-term rentals are growing exponentially. It's the new hotel industry, and it's a business that it's a business where you can allow other people to pay your bills, right? I gave the quote that over most hosts are allowing the most guests are their earnings cover 81% of their mortgage or rent. Okay, so I'm going to close out. I believe you can create the life of your dreams one short-term rental property at a time. You can do it too. It's not something hard or far-fetched. Lots of people are doing it. You can make on average $1,000 a month. I would love to show you how to do it. Get the freebie I'm trying to send you. I'll be on next Monday. And have a great week. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining in as usual. Much love. Have a great day.